Beautiful city and headphones, and I'm a happy girl. Hello friends, welcome back. This is Jessie here and I'm just come back from my vacation and so refreshed. Super excited to share with you what are the earbuds I brought along on this trip. So today's video is all about sharing travel and outdoor earbuds. The ones that meet your needs for noise cancelling, comfy listening and looking good in photos. I'm gonna tell you exactly how they felt, totally from a real-life perspective. And I'd love to hear your interesting stories with earbuds while traveling, like Mr. Stuff, just because the noise cancelling works too well, just like I did. If this video provides any info for you, drop a go on Jessie in the comment to cheer it up. So I brought 3 pairs with me this time. So first, the one I wore the most during hiking, and also the one that got the most photo time. The Distant Mountain 10th Anniversary Edition. I also have the original version too, so I'll talk more about it later. And then there is Oppo ENCO 4, which most of you probably already know that it's been my go-to for daily use this month. And finally, the Samsung Buds 3 FE, which I mainly used for listening music in the hotel. You can jump to the section you're most interested in. By the way, I took a bunch of photos of the Distant Mountain from different styles just for your reference. So this one is a wired vintage style over-ear headphone from a hi-fi brand, Roselsa, the same one that made the ceramic sacks I've mentioned there before. I once bought the original Distant Mountain last year, mostly because I love the color and the design. But honestly, I didn't wear it very much, and I even gave it a very bad review for 2 reasons. First, as an open-back headphones, the bass just didn't have much presence. It kind of only had that vibe. It loses some real details and separation isn't great either. When you turn it down, you can hear only the main body, and when you turn it up, it would get boomy. And second, it climbed too tight. Even I've got a pretty small head, and after like 1 or 2 hours, it hurt a lot. Both the head top and the pinna. But this 10th anniversary version really fixed those issues. You can tell they actually listen to users' feedback. The sound now goes deeper and the soundstage has expanded a lot. With the original one, the sound kind of stayed around your ears. But now, it feels like it's around your whole head, more immersive. The vertical soundstage is also bigger. You can clearly feel the oval-shaped space around you. And the oval nicely wraps around. Vocals are super close and intimate. When I am hiking, I mostly listen to tracks with some drum beats or emotional vocals, and this pair handles both really well. The bass gain is around 8 to 10 decibel, and most of the sound imaging sits right above your head. So it kind of feels like you're standing in the center of a circular stadium, which is surrounded by speakers. The bass spreads nicely across the bass, giving a really smooth, refined sense of movement. The mid-range peak is positioned more towards the front, which makes female vocals sound more natural and balanced. The overall sound is laid out in a really organized way, and the male vocals, which is lower, sit a little further back compared to the female ones. They blend better with the instruments. So this pair works really well for genres like country music or acoustic folk, while female vocals sound closer and more forward, great for pop or J-pop or even rock. As for the highs, the carbon fiber drivers are naturally stiff but not super damped. That means they can easily make the treble sound sharp or metallic, if not tuned properly. But here, it's actually handled pretty well, smooth and well controlled. Definitely miles better than the OnePlus Buds 4's treble. Yeah, I'm always roasting that one. That said, high-frequency instruments are a bit less prominent compared to the other ranges. That's just a trade-off of the open-back designs. Highs tend to dissipate faster, so instruments like violins or triangles have less shimmer and presence, so it's actually a good thing if you jump those large orchestra tracks. Overall, they've replaced the original composite topology diaphragm with a carbon fiber one, and swapped the 5-in single crystal copper cable for a more premium, silver-plated version. That gives a brighter, more energetic sound and with noticeable better depth and transient response. So, in simple terms, it just sounds livelier and way more engaging. This new Prussian blue finish looks really elegant and calm. When putting both colors side by side, it gives this grounded, earthy feel mixed with something deforesty. Super tasteful. The champagne gold at the ear cup joints pair beautifully with the blue. Clearly designed by someone with good taste. The headband is made from genuine lambskin, and this time the padding feels airier and doesn't press down on the top of your head. The headband also opens up wider now, so it's more comfortable but still holds its situation well. It won't slide around easily. The overall design hasn't changed much, except for the little tense engraving at the end. It gives a nice sense of time and legacy. During the whole trip, I wore this headset through 2 mountains. Its name, the This Mountain, made me feel this weird kind of connection to the mountains themselves. It's like when you hold a prize in your hand and give your mother a surprise. The kind of emotional connection. Because it's open back, I could still hear the sound of the nature and it feels safe and free. And some people might worry that wired headphones are inconvenient. But honestly, if you tuck the cable under your jacket or shorten the bit, it won't be a problem. I paired with their well-known RZ550 amp, super powerful and very stable. But I heard they're planning to release a Bluetooth version soon. It totally makes sense. This design definitely deserves more love. So I actually got this pair just about 1 week before my trip. I gave it a quick listen, liked the sound at first, and decided to bring it with me. But after spending more time with it, I gotta say, it turned out a bit disappointing. Let's be real, the ANC, the comfort, the call quality, all are just average. So today, let's only talk about the sound. I start with the default balanced tuning. The soundstage is quite big, but the edge aren't super clear. It focused more on that open, airy atmosphere. Before my trip, I listened to a Dangerous Thing, and that spacious, echo-like vocal really filled out the soundstage. In actual listening, the resolution is really solid. You can hear most of the details and it doesn't sound congested at all. The bass position is precise. Drums don't bleed into everything else. Vocals a little distant. Male vocals sound natural. And female vocals can feel slightly thin, but they blend really nicely with the instruments. The treble has a bit of that metallic edge. Kind of sharp on things like triangles, but overall the tone is balanced, not overly boosted in the bass or vocals. Switch to the dynamic mode, most low and high frequencies get a stronger boost, making the sound feel more powerful and lively, but at the cost of the resolution. You can lose some bass texture and high-end detail. It sounds more exciting, but lose that unique character it had. And personally, I'm not really into this triangle stem design. It pokes into my ear a bit and makes it less convenient to take it out. And even though the sound is fine, overall it reminds me a lot about the Bose FE. They both focus on clarity and detail. But considering the price, I'll still say the Bose FE is a better choice. Now for the Oppo ENCO Free 4, this one is an old friend, so I won't go too deep into the review. If you're new here, you can check out my full review on my channel. This time, I actually used it for about an hour on the subway and 5 hours on the high-speed train. So I can really talk about its stability, comfort, and battery life, and how well the ANC performs during the travel.
Hello guys, this is here, and today I go back to my hometown to spend my weekend with my mother, and I go back by the high-speed railway, and I think it's really the chance to show you how does the ANC really perform.
On the subway, it cancels roughly 8% of the rumbling noise, and the remaining sound, it doesn't feel like they feel to cancel it. It's more like a faint echo because of the processing delay. You really get that instant quietness. The closer someone is to you, the more effectively their voice gets filtered out. Like, if the person next to me is talking, I can only hear their lips moving. But if they are a little farther away, you still catch some voice because they stand out even more in a quiet environment. And actually, While playing some music or watching something, it's hard to notice any outside noise at all. The only problem is it gets too quiet. It's really possible to miss your stop. On high-speed train, the engine noise is much softer, mostly just people chatting, and interestingly, the voice cancellation feels even better there. Except for kids screaming, which you just can't really escape. And yeah, I had a very energetic little boy sitting right behind me, so honestly, I have no idea how I would have survived without those. I watched some talk shows, listened to music the whole trip, and still had about 20% battery life in the end. So the battery life is very impressive, and my ear only started to feel a bit sore at the very end. So that's all for today's video. Do you guys enjoy this kind of casual travel style review? Thanks for sticking with me. If you found this helpful, drop a good one just in comment to show your support. If there are any tidbits you want me to compare next, leave a comment or join my Discord. I also post earbuds test and bits of my daily life on ENCO, so I'd love to see you guys there too. See you in next video. Good one, Jessie. Next Blolic! So many new earbuds were released in August and September. Do I have any better choice from now?